Hi everyone, this is the Wounded Womb, Mind of Lilith, and today I'm going to talk about the Verzuz battle between Stephanie Mills and Chaka Khan. Now, you guys know I was excited about this. These are two of some of my favorite artists. I love old school music. I'm not a big hip hop fan. And I was looking forward to listening to some of these tracks and celebrating, Black culture and the contributions that these women made to Black history. And, I know Chaka Khan had some substance abuse issues in the past. She discussed her problems, but I thought it was behind her, right? But the first red flag was the fact that the show started really late. It was pushed back an hour. And then even still, we had a DJ battle that pushed the show back another hour. And, on the East Coast, it's late. So we were kind of like, it's 10 o'clock. What's going on? But we were really excited to see these two legends on the stage. And I was looking forward to listening to them, sing their songs and for people to remember who we are culturally when it comes to our creativity, when it comes to the type of music that we created before this hip-hop scourge took over our communities. So when Chaka first came on stage, now I don't have a lot of experience with people who have substance abuse problems. I was fortunate that neither of my parents did drugs or alcohol. They kept me away from that. But everybody's family has people who do drugs. I don't know anybody whose family does not participate in drugs, but I did not have to deal with that in my immediate family or in my close circle because I don't spend time with people who do drugs or alcohol. It's just not comfortable for me. But people in the audience were saying that she's wasted. I'm like, maybe she's a little drunk or something. But it was really, really uncomfortable and embarrassing to watch. And I felt bad for Stephanie because Stephanie wanted this so badly. And I could tell she was so excited to be able to celebrate Black music and Black culture. And when I first saw Chaka on stage and I saw her inability to perform properly, I was thinking about members of the audience who would be triggered, right, by seeing someone in this generation who was born in the 40s, I believe, 50s. By seeing someone in this generation in this condition at her age. She's now, 68, Chaka Khan. I was thinking about, the history of drug abuse in our communities and how long we've been fighting through this. And I was thinking also about the reason why we have a drug epidemic in our community today. Yes, we know the government brought the drugs in after Vietnam to kill the Black Power movement and to, further disenfranchise Black people and to destroy Black nationalism and to destroy the Black community in general. We understand this. But the boomer generation was the first generation to use drugs widespread and recreationally. The boomer generation is from 1939, I believe, to 1958, 59. That was the first generation that really participated in drug abuse wholesale. And this could be attributed to them, being in Vietnam, having to deal with the ravages of that, having to deal with the trauma of watching their beloved leaders get assassinated, having to deal with the trauma of fighting for civil rights. All of those things caused PTSD in our community, which could have attributed to them, looking to drugs for an escape. And some just wanted to party, right? So I'm aware of all that. All of that backstory was flooding through my mind as I was watching this show. And I was also thinking that Chaka Khan is about as old as this drug issue in our community. She's a little older, but we've been going through this for 50, 60 years now. We have Gen Z babies dying from drug overdoses now. So that's something that concerned me. And I was frustrated for Stephanie Mills, and I was embarrassed for Chaka Khan, and I was sad for the culture and the community to see their legends, being displayed like this. I don't know why they didn't cancel or postpone the show, but it is what it is. But the turning point for me, when I went from being frustrated and a little bit irritated with Chaka Khan to seeing the glory in the moment, to seeing the positivity in the moment, was when Stephanie brought her son on stage who is special needs. Stephanie has been a single mother of a special needs child for years. And the amount of love and compassion that she showed her son, she was standing in between her baby and Chaka, who was struggling. And I was thinking about, it reminded me of so many Black women who have to be the backbone in their families. They have to be the financial providers. They have to be the nurturers. They have to be the mothers, the protectors, all of this stuff. And Stephanie, to me, embodied what strong, Black, positive, nurturing, beautiful woman look like. And it was a great opportunity for us to see what it looks like when you have a sisterhood of women. The turning point for me was when, after Stephanie brought her child up on stage, and Chaka Khan was moved by that, and then she gave Stephanie a hug, and you could see her leaning on Stephanie for help. And at that moment, I realized, wow, this is a beautiful moment here, where we see a woman who is not only strong enough to be a single parent to a special needs child by herself, but she's also strong enough to anchor and support a woman going through her own battles with substance abuse, which is not, again, unfamiliar in our community. We women have to deal with other women who are being emotionally abused, financially abused, physically abused, sexually abused, all this stuff. And Stephanie exemplifies why it is important for us as women to pour into ourselves and to be self-centered, so that we could have the strength to be supportive of other women who are going to need our help. That's just what it is. I'm not going to say we can't rely on the men, because men in these situations tend to exploit women who are broken and vulnerable and in a less empowered state. Men tend to abuse women like this even further, which exacerbates the problem. So it's important for us to have a circle of women, a community of women like Stephanie Mills, who has the strength to carry herself, her son, and another woman on her back. Not to say that that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be muling for everybody. But we all need help at some point in our lives. Everybody needs help. And it's not fair for us to judge someone who needs help. And instead of judging them, we should provide support to them. I think my frustration with Chaka was the disappointment that I had, because I was so excited about the show. But it was selfish of me to think about what I wanted more than the demons that she has. And I was thinking maybe she has some sort of stage fright, performance anxiety, something, because this is not the first time she's appeared high on stage or drunk on stage. She's fighting something. And a lot of artists and performers have some sort of anxiety or stage fright. It's not uncommon. And as a creative, I do understand how uncomfortable it is to be creative on demand, to perform and put on a show. I'm an artist, and I am familiar with how uncomfortable it is to be creative on demand. Once in a while, we can produce something, we can use formulas, we can use other people's art to inspire us to create, but to have to perform at a certain level on demand all the time at the behest of someone else, it's very uncomfortable. Creativity is something that comes from within. It is not something that you can turn on and off like a switch. You can develop skills and methodologies and strategies for being able to to demonstrate your creativity in ways that are productive for business. But in general, creativity is something that should be cherished and not exploited in an industrial way, right? And this is one of the reasons why Whitney Houston has so many problems too, because for her to take her spirit and her light and to like turn it into a song that she has to perform 100 times in 100 weeks, it's frustrating, and it takes a lot out of you to be able to perform with that level of energy and passion and spirit when you're not in a good space, when you're dealing with emotional issues at home, when you're dealing with drug abuse problems, when you're dealing with other things. That's not a good model. We need to figure out a way of developing a creative industry, whether it's music or dance or art, that allows the artist to rest and recuperate and to replenish themselves so that their creativity doesn't become a curse. They need to have more agency over what's going on. And at this stage in her career, Chaka Khan can do that. She doesn't have to perform for anybody, even though we want to see her. She's done enough. She's done more than enough for our culture. It was just sad to see that, this was the state that she was in. And I hope that people are compassionate towards her. And I hope people give Stephanie Mills her crown and the credit that she deserves for really trying to use the platform to talk about Black issues, to talk about the fact that Black culture is being smudged out and appropriated by white-owned record labels. Stephanie talked about Black women not being protected, Black women needing support. She talked about Black culture and Black music, all those things. She was trying to use the platform to do that, but Chaka was so out of it. It's like, damn, man. She has to perform her songs, Chaka's songs. They're almost the same age. They're in their 60s. It takes a lot of energy to sing live like they do. It was really disappointing to watch, but at the same time, it was beautiful. Kudos to Stephanie Mills for trying to turn lemons into lemonade. She tried to transmute all of the negative energy that was in that space at the moment and turn it into a positive moment of representing what sisterhood looks like. We could see, like in our dark moments, how much light we still have within us as a community, as a people, and we need to hold on to that. But that's all I had to say about this. I look forward to reading you guys' comments and your feedback about the show. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will speak to you soon.